Hello, welcome to VOD of Consciousness with Sientir. I'm Sientir, everybody's waving. You can support me at Patreon at patreon.com/Sientir. And we're back in Guild Wars 1, continuing where I left off, hunting down Ryson the Phoenix, the leader of the Jade Brotherhood, who is supposed to be somewhere in this area. We want to try to theoretically minimize casualties, but there's a lot of casualties to be had, unfortunately. I'm going to focus some of my endeavors over that way, I think. Need to keep an eye out for if they've got warriors back here. Like, the assassins aren't a huge deal. They're mostly a nuisance. But the warriors are very threatening. And because they will triple chop and with splinter weapon on. And that is a lot of damage. Fortunately, as long as we don't aggro too much, I think we'll be fine. Any moment now. Wow, okay. I'm going to go out into this well, I think. Like, the thing is, this person is getting an absolute ton of healing pumped into them. And reacquiring targets weakened everything up considerably. The reason why that helped is that when somebody becomes kind of a hard target, when all of the monks have dumped a bunch of defensive stuff on them, they can suddenly become a very... Oh, wow, we are pulling in a lot of dudes here all of a sudden. They can suddenly become a surprisingly difficult to defeat enemy, where if you swap targets a little bit, the issue kind of repairs itself some. So... These warriors are causing us some problems. Well, I mean, that can happen too. Yeah, this is just an absolutely ridiculous horde of enemies. So I'm not really surprised that that happened. That a group that size is going to cause problems. Oh, I see what happened. There was a lot of soulbind going around. So when I used Breath of the Great Dwarf, it healed my party, and I got hit for like 200 damage? No, more than that. Like, each one of those is probably about 80, 84, something like that. So I probably got hit for, let's see, 320 damage or something off of Breath of the Great Dwarf. But I think that's what got me. Yeah. Maybe don't do that. Let's see what this is. Superior inspiration magic. Prodigies, I think, is actually somewhat valuable, unlike anchorites. Because, I don't know, monks? Grab a seer. Anchorite is kind of the monk equivalent of the effect of you get more armor while skills are recharging. For whatever reason, the Mesmer one is more popular. I don't know what that hex does, but not last very long, apparently. Good. I approve of a nice, solid well of power. Especially off of an enemy frontliner that was in our backline. Yeah, Hexbreaker is being very helpful here. It lets us deal with the giant pile of hexes that these guys seem to like to dump on us. Okay, I'm actually going to wait for a moment because all of my heroes are going to be a bit low on energy. And it's a good idea to let that energy recharge. Ooh, Gwen's death penalty is not appealing. Neither is Dunkoro's. Not a whole lot that I can do about that fact. I want to try to avoid aggroing as much of this place as I can, but I'm going to need to go that way, I think. So... Okay, so there is a soul bind somewhere. Oh my goodness, there is... Oh, this is not... This is too much aggro. Well, part of what just happened there is the lot of Mesmers happens to be up and... or not Mesmers, a lot of Elementalists. You can see... okay, maybe not as many as I thought there were. Yeah, no. But there's just a lot of AoE damage, so that was not great. I was thinking maybe I should bring Power Stones of Courage into this, and I chose not to, but I'm kind of wondering if it was a poor choice. I remember this being a really grindy, hard, long mission from the last time that I did it, so I would not be surprised if there's numerous party wipes here, unfortunately. Yeah, a reminder to support me on Patreon. I would appreciate it, but probably the better way to support me, better is subjective, but just sharing my content with those that you think might enjoy it would be quite beneficial. Financial support is always appreciated, and I'll never say otherwise. But even the support of just letting people know that my content's out there and that they might like it and to come check me out is... it's more valuable than might be initially realized. So... part of the problem is this room just has so many groups that are kind of like wandering that I think I'm getting like migrating aggro. These elementalists need to get shut down hard. Hard and fast. Yikes. You can see how much damage their warriors pump out, though. Yeah, this is going very poorly. There's just a ludicrous number of hexes going around, too. Yeah, ouch. Yeah, I like taking 160 damage for trying to heal my party. That's great. No, I couldn't get that off in time. Ugh. What do I do about a situation like this? Like, the problem is my party is just going to have so much death penalty that we just... like, look at those. Look at those numbers of death penalties. Really, really, really hard to survive with that. So it's like, do I throw in the towel and say, okay, I need to come back with some slight tweaks to things? Or do I press on and grind things out? And, like, the thing is, I've just not made that much map progress, relatively speaking. So it feels like, how much investment do I have, and how much more quickly would it go if I, say, went back and grabbed some Power Stones of Courage, so that way when I get to a situation like this, which is undoubtedly going to happen again, I can do something about it, right? And, you know, just questions like that. I should probably, like, consider a different secondary. Instead of trying to use the flurry stuff as well, I could potentially do something that would be useful in a different sort of way. And, I don't know, there's just a lot of considerations for how to approach this sort of situation. And I don't really have a good answer. But I do know that this is a great spot to take a screenshot of, I suppose. And the problem is, like, we just get a huge quantity of guys on us here. Okay, this is untenable. I'm throwing in the towel. That is just not. I'm not doing that. Like, did you see how quickly our party just evaporated? That is not reasonable to try to deal with. I'm gonna reconstitute things in a moment here, but first, let's take care of what I did end up with in my inventory. So, what I want to do is I want to logically kind of think through some of the issues. So we had a problem with way too many hexes going around. There was just an unreasonable quantity of hexes. So what, to me, that sounds like a good solution might be something like expel hexes. So, man, minor spear mastery is pricey. So, yeah, there's anchorites, which is while 1, 3, or 5 skills are recharging, that's worth like nothing. Prodigy is 1, 3, or 5, and it's actually worth a little bit. So it's just kind of interesting. Superior inspiration is not going to be worth much of anything. Yeah, that's kind of why. I do think it's probably worth salvaging that out. Yeah, because I get 500 for it. Highly salvageable. Okay, so a lot of this is up in my bank. Oh, I've got a lot of wood apparently. I do. Do I have more cloth than I need? Sorry, I know inventory management's not the most exciting of things. Now, the real question is cloth worth something? And I do not have the person here, so let's just pop over to here. And there should be a material trader over here somewhere. This is a nice guild hall. It's based on Xingzhe, but the arrangement leaves something to be desired. Alright, so what I've determined is that this isn't worth anything. Cloth is selling for base price of 30, basically 3 apiece. So I might as well just merchant it. Alternatively, I can potentially go to an artisan and do something with it. You know, I'm going to hang on to this cloth, and I'm going to see about doing the artisan route. Now to leave guild hall, I need to go that way because it's an alliance guild hall and not my guild hall. That's how the game works. Okay, so what I think I want to do is I'm going to go /monk. And the reason I'm going to go /monk is I'm going to get rid of that. A Hexbreaker Area is probably good to keep around. I'm going to drop that for the moment as well. I do like this. But I want to actually bring empathic removal. It allows me to be able to heal everyone, or heal somebody from a hexanic condition, and there's plenty of those going around. So, I do like what Lyric of Zeal is. Not that much zoom. Lyric of Zeal is doing. I might try Signet of Synergy here in this slot, and Energizing Chorus doesn't really do much. Let's see. Purifying Finale. Man, the design of Paragon is just like kind of gross. As in, like, not great. Kind of gross. I mean, I could bring something like Dodge this, but it's not very good. Let's see. I can bring this to give us some additional damage, but I don't think that's quite worth it. Honestly, move like a dwarf is good, so I'll probably just bring that, but do this sort of arrangement. I'll try this, see how that goes for me. Okay, so I know that I want Talcora and Dunkoro. I like what Elias was doing with the wells. Norgu, Gwen, Daedalon. Now, the question is, who do I want in that last spot? There are a couple of different options. Hmm. I think I'm going to go with a command focus General Morgan. And my logic is that that will enable some specific utility things. Let's see. Hex Eater Signet. I'm actually going to replace Hex Eater Signet with Signet of Clumsiness. Shorter recharge, so it works better with the Lyric of Zeal. But the other thing is it does some additional damage and potential damage mitigation through knockdown. Let's see. I'm happy to keep using Crippling Anguish, but I kind of feel like the enemies are going to ignore that to some extent, so I'm actually going to use Tease on her instead. And she's serious into illusion magic. Cool. I like Psychic Instability. I think things are probably fine on his end. General Morgan, instead of going Necromancer, is going to go / Mesmer. Bump up the command. And what I want from him actually is going to be Expel Hexes. I think. Do I want him Mesmer or do I want him Monk and doing a similar thing to what I'm doing? That's actually a really good question. I think I actually do want him Mesmer for Expel Hexes and Mirror of Disenchantment. Holy Spear is fine. Wild Throw is fine. I don't really need that because I'd rather make sure he has Never Surrender. We Shall Return and Never Give Up, I think. Just to increase our survivability, some is the idea. So what I'm doing with this build change stuff is I'm giving more hex control to General Morgan specifically in the form of Expel Hexes. Some enchantment control in the form of that. Actually, instead of Holy Spear, I'm going to give him also Hexbreaker Urea. We're going to be putting a lot of that on, but there's just so many hexes and stuff flying around that I kind of feel like that's not a bad direction to go. I actually kind of want to drop Shatter X stuff from him. Yeah, I'm going to put on Complicate. And that's kind of an interesting idea. Yeah, that's probably fine. I mean, I could my res, but I don't think that's necessary. Question is making sure I have enough damage. And I'm certainly trying to damage attackers. I have a ton of interrupts. Um. Question is, am I focusing too much on survival and not enough on straight up damage? Like, part of the reason why I'm bringing Phantom Pain is when they remove it, it inflicts a deep wound. Yeah. I know. I kind of want to tweak this a little bit. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to switch over to more channeling magic, pull that off. The rest of this is fine, but I really want to run another splinter weapon. I'm going to run splinter weapon over here as well. Yeah, and then like psychic instability is a nice interrupt, but I actually think it's better off for me to go with E-Surge for damage. Well, yeah, that seems probably fine. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I feel like I've got enough random interrupts on dudes that I don't need the knockdown one and would rather go for damage. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go back in with this and see how it goes and run a slightly longer episode today because I would rather do that. I know I spent a lot of time doing build stuff, which I enjoy and which I think is interesting, but is maybe not the most exciting thing to watch. I don't know. You have to tell me what you think. Do you like watching build stuff? Okay, and like right here, I can go like, there, Gwen, let's clear each other up. Okay, their elementalist is wrecking us. This is not... Okay. Wait, did I have any drops? Okay. This is not going okay. This is decidedly not going okay. I'm not accepting that. Okay, so what can I do differently and why did that go poorly? Is General Morgan too reliant on specific things? I don't know why that went poorly. That's part of the problem is I don't know what went wrong there. Okay. This is like that early is too much. It's too much death penalty for that early sort of thing. Do I really want to be running T's on her, or do I want to go back to... I'm going to go back to Crippling Anguish. Let's see. Next one... bunch of damage. Run energy tap that, but I think I'll be okay. Psychic instability more important on him than I realized. Was the ward against elemental damage more important than I realized? I don't know. Like, I'm left with a bunch of questions, and like, I'm making a minor tweak, but I don't know here what's going on. So, I don't. Basically, I'm not 100% sure what was going on that was causing that quick of an issue to develop. I should probably be changing my spear though. But I should keeping my where do I have my motivation shield since I'm using motivation still. Well, I mean, this is going better, but I feel like some amount of that is simply because the configuration of the enemies is different. No burning arrow for you. So it's like, are we doing better because of change I made, or just simply because of a change the enemies made, as it were, and how they were being configured? I don't know, that's hard to say. Okay. Something's going on that's causing... This will help two people. Haha. Friggin' weird. Watch assassin. Okay, so I made like... What change did I make that is causing this much of a difference? I know that I changed Gwen back to Crippling Anguish. Was Crippling Anguish really that better, much better than T's? I don't think I did anything there. I don't know. I'm confused. I am supremely confused about why that went so much better than the previous time. Why is this target obstructed? I think these elementalists are just really, really bad for us. Well, that was slightly bad ordering, but whatever. What can you do? Try to Hexbreaker Read at a good time and hope that works, I guess, mostly. I mean, we're doing okay, but definitely one of the things that I'm noticing is that these sandstorms are really causing us a lot of damage. So these elementalists need to be a really high priority target. What are we all suffering? Long-lasting suffering. Okay, well, I can remove hexes this way. General Morgan is doing what he can to remove hexes as well. Okay, this is... We're both basically using some of this, like, fastest recharging hex removal in the game. Expel hexes is 8 seconds minus 7. Mine is basically Mini Blessed Light, which is another Monk Elite that is reasonable. It's a weird skill in that it does 3 things, and if you get 2 of them, it's okay. If you get 1, it's bad. If you get all of them, it's actually really good. You're probably at least going to get the one that's healing. It's kind of hard not to get that one. I mean, I feel like overall things are probably going pretty well. Incidentally, this is kind of slow recharging condition removal, so it's much more of a hex removal. The wells are definitely useful for our own survivability. Okay, now if I remember things correctly, I had to go through that boss. It looks like there's a way down right here, but... So maybe if I wait... What is happening to Dunkoro? Okay, well, he's dying. That's what's happening to Dunkoro. Okay, so you can see what's going on right now is the elementalists are just wrecking us. This is ridiculous. Again, okay, so the other thing that you saw that happened is there's a group there that's running back. We double aggroed. And double aggro is a very, very, very good explanation for what just happened there. Unpleasant, but factual. Oh, more cloth, though. This quest is, as I said, one that I recall being quite difficult. And it is certainly endeavoring to live up to my memory. If I can avoid fighting Lai, I would like to do so, however... My real question is, how can I get one of these groups and not both this group and this group? Because that's definitely what did us in last time. Okay, there's got to be at least 2 elementalists doing stuff to us. Or at least elementalist proxies. Because there's just the amount of earth magic going off is not good for us, to say the least. I need to back away from the sandstorm. Sandstorm, if you're attacking in it, does double damage. Knock that guy down again. Yeah, and they're doing stuff with spirits, which is strong typically. Okay, and we've gotten that other group, but we've cleared out enough of that first one that hopefully it won't be too bad. Let's get this going. How about you don't start healing yourself? Thanks. Like, this is going okay. In part, a lot of the enemies are being blocked by geometry, so their attempts to attack us are, in fact, being mitigated from that standpoint, which is certainly nice. I enjoy being able to take advantage of the lyric of zeal. That's nice. Yeah, they had a lot of rangers that were getting vision blocked. So that was nice. I think the idea is to try not to fight those guys if you can. And because I don't need to go over there, I'm not going to. We have one named target. I think this group should be a little bit easier to deal with. Just due to... Oh my goodness. Okay, this group is full of warriors, which is causing us huge amounts of damage, like AoE damage spiking, which is grievously unpleasant. So I'm trying to spread the team out some. Once I clear out this group, I'm probably going to go ahead and call this episode to a close, though, because I need to do it at some point in time. Okay, and we cleared out that group, which brings us back to this spot. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. Until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.